remind my faithful lawyer YouTube subscribers today. It is Monday, is April 29th, the year is 2019. And if I'm correct, is this the last day of April? Do we got a few more days in this month? Let me look at my calendar. I'm old. Is it 31 days in April? We got one more day, the 30th. I saw a couple posts by a couple different people where they say that one of the reasons why I possibly don't have HIV at 49 years of age is because I had a praying mother. Now, I'm not too sure exactly why so many people are so adamant that because my mother was praying that that's one of the reasons why when I lived through the 90s and the 2000s and made it through all these years not be HIV positive. Now, I'm not one of those people that believe in the power of prayer and Jesus and any other mess. So, my mother was an extremely religious person. She didn't educate us on using condoms. She didn't put any of her children on birth control. She didn't have a talk with us about STDs and sexually transmitted disease. She didn't talk to us about syphilis and gonorrhea and chlamydia and any of this stuff because God forbid that you as Jehovah's Witnesses, they're so afraid that I'm discussing this stuff that you're going to go out and participate in sex. So, the only way I learned about sex education was like most people in my age category, and that was from going to school and participating in sex education classes that started somewhere around middle school in Indiana. If I'm correct, we had sex education classes in middle school and high school where they discussed sexually transmitted diseases, and at that time, HIV was starting to really do serious harm to people and kill people all over the United States in the early 80s. By the time the late 90s came and I was close to graduating high school, we knew what HIV was. They knew how to test for it. If I'm correct, they were tested for it, I believe, at that point. They knew there were some things they knew about HIV that they were not educating the public about. Now, when you live in a religious household, like a Jehovah's Witness or in a community like a community where people are extremely religious, they're not going to discuss sex education with you because the theory is by discussing sex, you're giving a person leeway to go out and participate in sex. Now, as I grew in my late teens and I didn't really become sexually active until I was over the age of 18. By this time, I knew the seriousness of using condoms because there was so much stuff going on in the media. There was ACT UP in New York. I remember there was the song written by Elton John and a few other artists. That's What Friends Are For. They did a huge promotional video for that to promote HIV and AIDS to raise funds for HIV and AIDS. There was Ryan White, who had died of AIDS. He was, I believe if I'm correct, a dentist had injected him with HIV. The media was hounding you. I was going to say hounding you, but they were getting messages out there that HIV was there and it was deadly. And then as I moved to Atlanta in 1989, I witnessed over the years quite a few of my friends die from AIDS. So that's all it takes is you to see a couple people laid up in the hospital dying from AIDS and that should wake your black ass up. It woke my black ass up quick. So I've always been a proponent for using condoms and practicing safe sex and limiting sexual partners. Because I used to have friends, they was fucking every goddamn thing, coming left, right, coming. They didn't even know the people's name. They didn't give a shit. Unfortunately, those individuals who were running around fucking everything on planet Earth right now are deceased, and they died a long time ago. I'm still sitting here. Not because of prayer, but because of common sense. I knew better than to run out here and fuck every nigga I met, even with a condom. Because I knew the consequences would be severe. I had a friend who swore every day, he said, I'll fuck anything, but I'm wearing a condom. I'm always going to wear a condom. Well, he's dead today. He died a few years back. He's where he always used condoms, but he was a big time hoe. So there's this theory that if you consistently wear a condom, you can fuck everything you want to. I don't know that didn't really work out too well in his favor. He should have been a little bit more selective about the people he was having sex with. He probably would be alive here now. But when you got guys flying all over the United States, from New York to Chicago to Miami, Los Angeles, just Washington, D.C., just on this circuit party you had going around having sex with everybody they know, what do y'all expect happens then? What do you think happens? And trust me, all the prayer in the world ain't gonna stop you from getting HIV if you out there fucking everybody in the world. Come on now. So I really wish you all would stop that nonsense. Walter, you had a praying mother. No, Walter had common sense. I ain't no fool. I still do have common sense. Anyway, I'm in my new place, and I finally got a picture on the wall and some paint on the walls and some new furniture in here. One day I'll take a little tour of this place, but it's a nice little place. It's a townhouse. It has a lot of damn stairs over here. The stairs been wearing my ass out going up and down. So I've been slowly over the past few weeks getting it together so it can be more like a home. And then it's slowly getting there. Right. And I'm happy with first I was kind of concerned about it being such a large space. I really didn't need the space. But as I looked around these apartments in Atlanta, this made the most sense because everything else was a lot smaller and cost a whole lot more. I said, I'd take this shit any damn day then. But my mother was a Jehovah's Witness. And then some people say that my views about religion are based upon my mother's belief. My mother, even as a little kid, I knew the religion. I knew every religion was fake. Why? Because I could read and educate myself. I would go to the public library and read story books. There was a librarian at the public library, and I would ask her about the religion. She'd go bring back me all these different books, and I would sit there and read this mess. I was a little teenager. And by the time I hit by the time I was 16, 17 years of age, I had read so much stuff about Christian religion and all this stuff, all this fake man. I was like, wow. Why are black folks still pursuing all this fake mess? One of the reasons why black folks continue to follow fake religion because they don't read and educate themselves about the fucked up ass religion they following. They just ignorant. Grandma studied it. Great-grandma studied it. Great, they didn't study shit. Grandma was with Christian. My great-grandma was with great-grandpa. They just passed it down from generation to generation. And nobody knows why you are even involved in that religion. Whether it's Christian, Muslim, or Jewish, it's just passed down from generation to generation, and no one has investigated these religions. There are tons of books out there that will educate you how these religions become to play such a part in your life, our lives in the United States, why Muslims are all in it for certain countries, who started the Jehovah's Witness religion. There's so much information out there, but people choose not to, because the Bible says you're not supposed to invest. I forget there's a scripture in the Bible. And it says you really shouldn't be don't ask questions or something similar to that. Well, even as a little child for me, I questioned it. And I didn't want to waste my time with that. Because I knew something wasn't right here. There's another issue. Every person I know that is a God-fearing Christian, because trust me, I am not a God-fearing Christian. Because if God was sitting right there, I'd be cussing his ass out. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. Did you see what this was going on around here? You ain't gonna do shit. Now, some of y'all, oh my God-fearing Christian. But they the brokest niggas on planet Earth. Ain't got shit. My mama been poor for a long time. She has. When my mother divorced my father, she'd been poor for a long time. Poverty is her middle name. Unfortunately. It's sad. And every person I know who's actively involved as a Christian, who sit up in these churches screaming to Jesus, we love Jesus, the Lord is my Savior, broker than a motherfucker. They ain't got shit. Broke, financially struggling. No miracle has happened for you yet, mama? Jesus ain't came up and paid any bills yet? Jesus ain't gave you a lump sum of money so you can go take a vacation someplace? Every person I know who sits up in these churches every Sunday is broke as hell and ain't got shit. They barely surviving. But they love Jesus. But Jesus ain't loving their motherfucking ass. Because if he was loving them, he at least financially helped them get to the other side of the rainbow. That ain't happened. I swear, y'all, I'm not kidding. Every person I know that sits up in these churches every Sunday giving their money to these churches, they are flat broke. They have nothing. And that was another reason why I despise the Jehovah's Witness religion, all them poor niggas. I said, I do not want to live my life like this. A bunch of raggedy cars, a bunch of hungry children. But we out knocking on doors every Saturday and Sunday in field service. The Jehovah's Witness had you in that church on the Kingdom Hall on Sunday for 2 hours or longer. Then you come back, then you leave there and go out and do the field service, go knocking on the folks' doors. Then later on that evening, we come back for sometimes and have a watchtower study in the evening time. Sometimes they would do this watchtower study. You don't forget on Tuesday night we had book study. There was this little book that we had to study on Tuesday night for about an hour at somebody's house in the basement or something. We'd be sitting down and 30 or 40 people in there studying from this book. Then Thursday night we were back at the Kingdom Hall for, I forget what it was called on Thursday night. We back there for another hour or two on Thursday night. Then Saturday, of course, we back out in the field knocking on these doors. That's a part-time motherfucking job that can pay a whole hell of a lot of bills or an opportunity for your children to get an education. Because it's been all these hours, and don't forget we're doing this every week after 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 week every week motherfucking week. And don't forget they have conventions. Then they got those conventions. Let's take up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. How many amount of days you go with these conventions? We driving all the way back and forth to Chicago, wherever they were having that conventions. You sitting up there all day long. It was a nightmare, y'all. And what did you accomplish? Nothing. Every single person I know that grew up in the Jehovah's Witness is no longer involved in that mess, and they all despise it. No, every single person I knew who grew up as Jehovah's Witness, a whole lot of us, they don't want nothing to do with that religion or any other religion for that matter. They don't even want their children involved with any fake man-made religion. They refuse to have their children's brains mired in that crap. And if I had children, then my children would go nowhere near. That would be me and my mother would probably have to fight about this because the minute you start talking about the Jesus stuff, mama go end up walking down the highway. I would not want that mess indoctrinated into my children. About a fake man, a dead Jew on a cross, and he coming back to save niggas' lives. I don't have time for that foolishness. And I would not want my children brains to be brainwashed and mired in that bullshit. And it is bullshit. No. My mother's prayers didn't save my life. Me educating myself about HIV and sexually transmitted disease and looking around me and using common sense is what determined saved my life from HIV. Now, have I made some mistakes in my life? Oh yeah, I ended up in prison at a very early age. Because I did a crime that was such a huge dollar amount, they said, okay, nigga, we can't just give you First Time Offenders Act. However, going to prison was probably the best thing that ever saved my life because when I got out of prison out there, I did that little short amount of time, wasn't very much time. All my friends were dying from AIDS. All of them. Every last one of them. I was like, where are they? What's going on? The niggas were dying left and right. They were all sick. Sick. Like, sick. And people don't understand because I was here in Atlanta and I was watching people die from AIDS. These families were desperate to save their children and their loved ones. And the Centers for Disease Control here is based here in Atlanta. And at that time, there was a lot of experimental type medications and operations that they did to these young men to try to save their lives. Because, you got AIDS, more likely you're going to die. We're no more likely like you were going to die. Some people live, sometimes we have to understand some people live with HIV. I know some people who have lived with HIV and never taken any medication. Their immune system is able to keep the disease at bay. We now know there's a term for these people called elite something. Educate yourselves, Google it and find out what it means and then write it in the comments. But it means elite something. And this means that their immune system was strong enough to keep the virus the HIV virus from doing harm to their immune system. However, even some people I know who have battled HIV for years, as they age, as part of the aging process, your immune system begins to decline, and eventually they did get sick and they had to begin taking HIV medications. Now, back in the early 90s, before they came out with these HIV medications that worked, we all know they had the AZT and other various medications that didn't really do shit and probably did more harm than good. But it was, you all have to understand something. They were trying to keep these men alive, and they were approving medications very quickly to give these guys a chance, because they didn't know, they had to try something. And so many people are attacking the medications instead of saying, well, the medications, which probably didn't work, and they didn't have the opportunity to really scientifically prove whether they can work or not, because you got a patient that's dying clear in front of you, multiple patients dying in front of you. They started giving whatever they could. They were fast-tracking these medications and operations to see what they could do to save these men's lives, men and women. And in many instances, some of the stuff didn't work. And they still died a horrible death of AIDS. And if you've never seen somebody who's ever died from AIDS, which a lot of you may have never have seen, I have, it's a horrible death. Hard to even explain. I've seen it. I've been to these hospitals and hospice care here in Atlanta at that time. So in the late 90s, when they finally came up with a medication that worked, it was a relief. But for some people, the damage was so severe to AIDS had created such physically and mental, HIV had created so many physical and mental problems with them. Even on the new medications, they're still alive, but they're not the same people they used to be. I know a lot of people, I see them today, and some of them are physically disformed. But they're alive. One of my friends, I went to high school with, he's hunchback over. He has these huge humps all over his back and stuff. He's hunchbacked over. They were never able to correct those issues with him, but they were able to get the virus under control. But the virus had did so much damage to him physically. He went from such a handsome, attractive man into, you swear that man was in his 60s or 70s today when you saw him, but he's just a year older than me. He graduated high school 1 year before me in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I know a lot of guys here in Atlanta who, the ones who are still alive, a lot of them have died over the years. I guess they didn't have a praying mama. Y'all can take that praying shit and toss it. And please do not come on my page talking about I had a praying mama. And that's no. Because my mother didn't even educate me. I love my mother with all her heart, but she was so caught up in the Jehovah's Witness religion, she didn't even educate her own 5 daughters on how to use birth control and condoms. Does that make sense? She didn't prepare her children, her daughters, to go out into the world and protect themselves from pregnancies. And yeah, there were a few Hamptons that had abortions. And yes, Alberta Hampton, my mother, was the person who took them down and had those abortions too. She ain't gonna tell you that. But I'll tell you about that later on in the video when I got her to sit next to me and see if she's gonna tell the truth on that one. But she won't. Instead of my mother promoting birth control and abortions to people, younger children, getting these women involved, forget all this magical, the magic of prayer. You better, and I believe more in the magic of Macy's, because I got some good discounts at Macy's on some good furniture I got here in my house here right now. I had to take y'all on tour some of this stuff now to tell you about it on Macy's. I ordered some furniture from Macy's. Macy's delivered the wrong shit. All of it was wrong. Every bit of it. I walked up them stairs and looked at that furniture. I'm like, this is not none of the shit that I ordered. None of it. Wrong color, wrong. I didn't even know what this shit was. But I was so exhausted from dealing with Macy's, I just kept it. And they gave me a hell of a deal on that furniture. So it was upstairs. It's not bad looking furniture. It just wasn't what I ordered. What kind of shit is that? How did y'all screw that up? And it was a huge mess. So they gave me a damn good deal for me to keep that damn furniture. I could have just sent it back. By that time, it was all set up and everything else. It was shocking. I know next time I order some furniture, I'm going to go outside and say, look, when that box of truck arrived, when they take it off that truck and start pulling stuff out that box, I just assumed it was the right, I didn't pay much attention. I just went on about doing what I was doing over here in the house. Lo and behold, I walked upstairs and looked and I said, what is this? But at that time, they had it all about set up. I'm like, this is not the furniture I ordered. Everything I said, oh, slam the brakes on this one. We got Macy's on the phone, everything. But they did give me an exceptionally good deal. And everybody else loves the furniture that they did deliver to. I guess they say God works in mysterious ways. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so they delivered the wrong furniture. I kept it. They gave me a good deal on it, so I'm happy with it. So it's a long story. That was the second time Macy's had came out here to deliver that furniture. Wow, I'm going to do a video about that Macy's experience. And I'm sure that could probably happen with more than just Macy's. It can happen with any furniture store. When you order furniture, you better make sure when they ordering it, it is exactly what you're ordering. When it arrives, it better go out there and look at that truck and make sure it's exactly what it is supposed to be to come off that truck. Take pictures of the furniture in the store that you ordered, so everything matches up. I know now. But again, it gave me an exceptionally good deal, so I ain't going to bitch and complain. I ain't paid nothing for it. It's sitting up there. I might sell it and go back and order what I want to order. So, but it's good. It's up there now. Shit, I'm really going to drag on that damn front down and all that heavy ass shit. That been dragging shit upstairs. I said, shit is up here. Shit, fuck it. My mother was a praying mother. Woo, Lord, sometimes I hear that, I think, oh boy. My mother was married to a good man, my father, Walter Sr., who worked a good job. My mother was driving brand new cars. He bought a brand new car for her every year. She had her own car. He had a car. He was a car fanatic like me. He couldn't read or write, but he loved cars. I'd go to the dealership and he bought those cars. My mother had a new car. He had a new car. This is in the 70s and 80s. Basically more 70s and 80s. We didn't want for anything. My mother had brand new furniture in the house. The home was well maintained and taken care of. But she wasn't happy because he was not a witness. And he did not view the world the way she did. She thought Jesus was going to swoop in there and pay the bills and stuff if she got rid of him. So when she did get rid of him, she lost the house and everything else. We ended up living in my grandmother's house. I did videos about this. But my mother's beliefs, her Christian beliefs, have been proved to be very detrimental to her family. And every person I know who has grown up in a household with an extremely religious mother or father have told me some horror stories of how they grew up in these religious households. Horror stories. And I believe every word of it because I grew up in a household like that. So having a praying mother doesn't mean anything. Having a mother who's smart and intelligent that can prepare your children for the real world with an education they can use and prepare them to get out there in these streets and live in Niggerville and stay alive, that's the type of mother you want. Your morals don't come from being in church. I know some people who sit in church every Sunday and they're the most horrible people you could ever meet in your entire life, and they've been like that forever. Church, your life isn't based upon some fake religion and some pastor in some church and some worthless prayers to some dead Jew on the stick that don't exist no more. Those of you who continue to follow religion, fine, pursue it. Knock yourself out. But there's those of us who know better. We don't base our lives on some invisible person in the sky that's going to sweep in and make lives better for us. You have to make your own life better for yourself. I had to protect myself from HIV. I knew it was out there. When I got to Atlanta, I met a lot of guys who did not want to use condoms. And I had to make a decision. Do I have sex with this man? Or be in a relationship with this man and not use condoms, watching all my friends die of AIDS? I couldn't do it. And a lot of guys didn't want nothing to do with me because I refused to have sex without a condom. I wasn't going to go down that path. That's why I'm sitting here today without HIV and any other STD for that matter, and in excellent health at 49 years of age. Because I have a lot of friends at 49, my gosh, when I see them today, They don't work out, they don't exercise, they don't take care of their health, they don't do nothing but drink and do drugs. And they're paying a heavy price with their health, and they don't look nowhere near my age. Well, look a lot older than me. But I just wanted to do a video about that because I'm so sick of reading these comments. You got a praying mother! No, I had common sense. And continue to use common sense to this day. That's why I'm sitting here in good health. I take my HIV. I take my high blood pressure medications. I work out, diet, and exercise. There is no salt in this kitchen. There's a little bit of sea salt. I don't really use that much either. I eat healthy and take care of my health and exercise. I'm about to get dressed to get out of here and get to the gym in a few minutes. That's how you stay in good health. Not through prayer. Not through the power of prayer. Waste of time right there. If that's what you believe in, pray on. Keep on praying. That's on you. I ain't got time for that nonsense. I'm getting my ass on the lift machine. There's a new track over here by my house. I'm running around that damn track, exercising before it get too hot out here and get my ass up in the morning. I keep saying, get in the morning, go to this track, but Lord, I'll be in there, asleep. Sleep, I wake up. Oh shit, I missed the damn opportunity to get out there in that track. But I'm gonna hit that track. It's right outside. It's not far from me. Walking distance. I'm gonna be getting my big ass on that track, running, walking, jogging, whatever around that track before I go to the gym. Get my cardio in. I believe in exercising, eating right, taking care of your health, and not fucking every nigga you meet. And using condoms and using protection. That's how you stay alive. Not praying to some invisible being in the sky that do not exist. If you like my videos, click like. Have I pissed you off in this video talking about that Jesus that you love so much? Take it up with him. Not me. Get him on the phone. Ask to speak to his customer service department and see what they tell you. Good luck with that. Anyway, today it is Monday, April 30th. The year I want to go to the beach so bad. Y'all just don't know. I want to go to Jacksonville Beach, Florida, somewhere. Something. I just want to get up and go. But I am going to stay here and take care of my business. Today it is Monday, April 29th. Tomorrow's the 30th. The year is 2019. I'm out of here and enjoy your Monday.